Okay, London Town, and welcome to the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show. How are you doing out there, London Town? Hope that you're kicking back, relaxing, yeah? And I hope that you'll stay up to listen to the rest of the show, yeah? Anyway, London Town, the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show, North, East, South, West London, all the brothers them locked down in the jails around London Town. Also, all the brothers and sisters in and around the suburbs, yeah? London Town, how you doing tonight? You doing fine? Hope so. London Town, we're supposed to go live link today, yeah? Got Big T in the studio, plus Mr. Anonymous. We have two ladies also. We have no live link London Town, so boy, we can't really get to do what we wanted to do still. But don't worry, London Town, we can run that next week still anyway, yeah? Big T, you just want to say hello to London Town?
Yes, London Town. Big up all the crew that were listening, yes? Big T just nursing a cold at the moment. Enough respect to my mum for giving me some nice lemon and some honey for this cola, yes? and load lemsip business. Uncle Briggy.
Yeah, man, you know them something that ain't no good for you, them natural remedies is always the best, Big T. Anyway, London Town. Yeah, the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration, so enough things are going on. We hear upon the news about Lady Di. Okay, London Town, gone missing still, okay? Anyway, London Town, we're not going to dwell on that like the Scratch Master D said earlier on still, yeah? We're just going to keep on rolling anyway, yeah? Anyway, London Town, what we're going to do tonight, yeah, we're gonna go back to when we had the brothers then from the Pan-Africans on the show, live question and answer session, yeah? What we're going to do, London Town, just chill out for a little while, you never know, we may even get a phone, yeah? And we'd go live link basically later on, maybe in about hours' time still, yeah? Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'll catch it up in a little while, yeah? Peace.
This is Don Luchas, and this is Briggy's Black Spiritual, Mental, and Physical Regeneration Show. Here's an update of some well-known celebrities who all listen and support the Regeneration Show. Warning.
We must remind you, all of these celebrities are real.
This is Angelo Starr from the Edwin Starr Band, and I listen to Radio Genesis.
Hi, my name is Crystal Rose, and I listen to Briggy on Genesis Radio.
My name is Tony Tucker. When I'm in London, I listen to Briggy. My name is Princess E. Mama, listen out to Briggy. Big shout out to Briggy. You know the Prince is hip.
Yeah, my name is Les Ferdinand. I listen to Briggy on Genesis Radio.
Hi, I'm Nigel Ben. I listen to Briggy on Genesis. Hi.
My name is Anthony Quinn. I listen to Briggy on Genesis Radio with a great pleasure.
My name is Johnny P. Mr. Briggy on Genesis 91.6.
Hey, make sure you listen to Briggy on 91.6. Message from Gary Mason.
My name is Michael Watson. I listen to Briggy on Genesis.
Keep it locked to a conscious station around town. Genesis, the number one. Keep the unity in the community. Lennox Lewis said that.
Genesis, the good station.
Yeah, this is Don Lucci and Briggy. Just keep it up. You know it's only right.
The Regeneration Show, touching the hearts and souls of many, but the chosen are few.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Carly Devon. Well, excuse me. And them say when you're drunk, you always speak the truth, right? So, you young people, you must listen to that show, what they call the spiritual, the mental, the regeneration show with Briggy, right? Because them youth, they deal with pure truths and right? And nowadays, when you speak in the truth, right? You cannot be a little wimpy punk behind closed doors, right? You must be bold, not butch. So listen, think, and learn.
All right, we're talking about Africa. Eva means to separate, yeah? Or it's named after the white explorer Afrikaners. Why the blasted hell, if we're going to start a new beginning, why don't we get rid of that name altogether, Africa, and a name as it was before the explorer? Yeah?
Obviously you didn't hear what I said before. Yeah? Or you didn't hear clearly what I said before. Perhaps I didn't explain it sufficiently for you to understand. Yeah? As I said to you before, all races of people, yes, in order to establish power on the planet, need to call themselves a name that relates directly to
why a name given to them?
Well, you're not allowing me to answer the question. You asked me a question, and then you're cutting in.
Yeah,
you want me to answer the question or not? I said all people need to call themselves a name that relates directly to a continent. I said we have chosen the name Pan-African because it relates directly to a continent. It is a necessary prerequisite. If you look at the establishment of all peoples, yes, and how they establish power, the first thing that they need to do is choose a name that relates to a continent. Yes?
Yeah.
Africa is the only
Well, let's say
name...
America.
1 second, brother. Africa
I mean,
is the only
America's a
name...
country, ain't it? Really? Man, carry on, brother.
Africa is the only name that relates to the whole continent of Africa. Yes?
Yeah.
That is why we've chosen the name.
Right.
It's a strategy. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, but I think the best strategy, if you want to erase people's mind of all the shit that was in it, excuse my language, that was in it before, shouldn't you erase the name as well? Totally?
No, first thing you have to understand is that there are steps. There's a steps like a ladder. Yeah, if you try and jump 4 steps when you're supposed to go up 1, 2, 3, and 4, you will fall down.
Yeah, but then again, at the
you
same
have to
time,
go step by
time
step.
is running out.
Yeah, well, I know time is running out, so the quicker, that is why we're here today.
We can't be living pipe dreams now. It's not like that. We have to eradicate, and we have to start, and we have to work quickly.
That's right.
And we can't continue the name of Africanus. I'm sorry, man.
The name Africa is an important name, and that's why we choose to use it.
Yeah. Me and Briggy. Yeah. All right, we just want to talk about them something else, yeah?
No, man, for real, still, blood.
Respect. Keep it up, Genesis. Love you.
Dance hall. Whenever I'm in London City, I listen to OG with Conscious Vibes from the youth days. Yeah!
Okay, big Genesis on your FM dial. Okay, I'm going to quickly go straight and take this call here, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio.
Hi, my name's Neville.
Okay, Neville.
My question is, the physical change that black people carry out on themselves, like their hair and their skin colour, what is the Pan-African stance on that, on black people's physical image?
Okay, yeah, what we as a people, what we as an organisation teach is that the natural African beauty, the natural Africanness of our people is a very important and very powerful tool. So we teach our people that there is nothing to be ashamed about the melanin in the skin. In fact, it's a very powerful thing. We were given our melanin by the Creator. It was a gift. You know, there are so many other peoples on this planet running to try and catch melanin, and they can't even catch it. Yeah, so the fact that we have melanin in our skin is a very powerful thing. It helps us to generate energy from the sun, and that's something that a lot of other peoples on this planet cannot do. The naturalness of our hair, the kinkiness of our hair, it's a very important spiritual thing. It helps us to conduct energy and to retain that energy. So the fact of our natural African self, even though we've been taught, and we've been taught very well by the Caucasian and by the Arab, to disrespect and not love the melanin and not love our features and our hair, we as an organisation teach that the natural Africanness of our people is very powerful, and we love that. And we teach that there's nothing to be afraid of or ashamed about. In fact, you should revel in the Africanness and the blackness of your beauty. And that's something that is taught as a fact. And this is something which is a fact, all other races on this planet know that we are beautiful. That is why they're running to look like us. The only people that don't know that we're beautiful is ourselves. You know, the white man perms his hair, you know, and gets his woman to perm her hair, yeah, even though he talks about the blonde and blue-eyed woman. She always wants his woman to look like a black woman. There are white women putting silicone in their lips and silicone in their buttocks to look like a black woman, or their image of a black woman. You know, they lie out in the sun trying to catch a suntan, you know, not able to do so, but trying to look like us. You know, so all other peoples are running to look like us, and we're trying to run to look like them, you know, which is madness. You know, we need to be proud of who and what we are.
Yeah, I hear you. So, what do you think of these so-called black hair companies that promote all these straight hair business? Especially I heard this advert on choice by TCJ, Razor Cream, which is aimed at children. And they count how they look extra beautiful because they got straight hair. What do you think of adverts like these in these companies?
Yeah, that's part of the same what we call menticide, which is mental genocide. And when we start to look at an image which is not ourselves and look at that image as being more beautiful than ourselves, it's part of the same confusion, and we need to eradicate that. It's a necessary step for us to move to the next stage of our liberation, to try and get that menticide out of our mind. You know, about the light-skinned woman and the light-skinned man, and in some way the fact that you're lighter is a reflection of your intelligence or your beauty when it's not. You know, we need to get out of our minds and understand that we are one people, yes, and we need to be proud of our race and our colour and the melanin in our skin and the naturalness of our beauty. And we need to acknowledge that. You know, all other peoples acknowledge it except for us.
Yeah, me speaking as a black man, I feel as though there's a lot of pressure on black women by black men to have straight hair or lighter skin due to their mental slavery and their preference. I feel as a black man, I can see around me, there's a lot of pressure on black women to do so. Do you feel that?
I think that's true. I think that a lot of these fashions and trends, you see, some things that we say are part of our community, or we say are part of our culture. We say that certain music forms are part of our culture. We say that certain drinking, smoking habits are part of our culture. We say that certain slackness, you know, that's a black thing. We say that, you know, to have a light-skinned woman, you know, it's something that a black man needs to look for. But some of these things are not our culture. You know, they're a subculture that's been put into our culture by the white man to control us. And we need to eradicate that subculture and understand when we talk about an African culture, we're not just talking about any culture that may call itself African. We're talking about a culture that will liberate us as a people. Not everything that's calling itself black, yes, or calling itself African is going to liberate. Only those things which are going to move us forward we will take. If it don't take us forward, then we will reject it. We will eradicate it, yes? And certain things that we have inside our culture.
Sorry to disturb you, but do you feel another step towards our liberation is to change our own personal names?
Definitely.
To revert back to African names?
Definitely. I think, I mean, it's been said...
I don't feel this means the hip-hop names like Rochelle and Sherelle and Tanina. African names.
Yeah,
last question, man. Just the name change,
I mean, in African culture, you know, in our culture, the name that you have is an important thing. The name it shows the place that you come from. It shows your nature, your character, your spirit, and your lineage too. Yeah, by lineage I mean where you come from, where your mother, your father, your grandfather comes from. It's the way in which people recognize each other. It's something which human beings themselves, only human beings can name themselves. You know, animals cannot name themselves. They have no names to call each other. You know, we as human beings have a right to name ourselves. So the fact of us taking our own names is an important step in our own humanity. To establish ourselves as human beings, we need to call ourselves by our own names and our own language. Yeah, so that's a very important part, and I'm glad you mentioned it.
All right. I'll try and play fine now. Two time now.
Go ahead.
Yo, you hear me? The same time there I'm yard and I chill. We just take in Genesis radio scene and listen to Briggy. Cause I see them youth, them rough. And some black power thing them a deal with. Seeing people, black ajed say so.
Yeah, what was said before about African and the name African, let me just extend the point a little further, because the point is often raised. You see, a lot of people don't want to call themselves Africans, and the reason why I don't want to call themselves Africans is because they've had such a negative image of the continent of Africa. And we call ourselves Africans because we know that we are part of that continent. And we know that there is difficulties and problems on the continent of Africa, but we cannot deny fact. You see, a pot can call itself a kettle, but it's still a pot. So we call ourselves African because we know that's what we are. But a lot of people want to call themselves different names. And it's not because of they've researched and they found out that such and such a name should apply to them, but mainly because they are afraid to relate themselves directly to the continent of Africa. And that's escapism. So we know that we are African, and we are proud to say that we are Pan-African. And we understand also that that is a name that we need to use at this point in time because it relates directly to a continent. And it's an important strategy that we as a people need to call ourselves that name because it relates directly to a continent, and it's necessary for us to empower ourselves.
Okay then, brother, yeah. Anyway, Genesis 91.6 on your FM dial 0958 248 398 if you want to put a question over to the brother. Anyway, we're going to go quickly and take this call here, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio.
My name's Nia from Edgware Road.
Okay, brother.
I hear that white people originally come from, like, what do they call them people that, you know, when you're black people, white, so what do they call them? What do they call them?
What, you mean?
Well, they're really like they're genetic mistake.
You mean people in...
What do they call those people?
Talking about a group of people in Africa.
White.
Are you talking about a group of people in Africa that whites say that they come from?
Yeah.
Well,
albino, that's it, albino. Yeah, apparently, I heard that the albino children were discarded, and they moved northwards into like Europe, where it's a lot colder, where they didn't need so much melanin in their skin, because they was just burning up in Africa. So the albino children moved north, where they settled. And due to the lack of food and the coldness up there, they become real savages and had to fight for everything, and that's made them that way that they are, the savages and mean people. So do you think it's our white people a victim of circumstance?
Well, there's lots of different arguments people are given about the origination of the Caucasian, yeah? And some of these arguments have been made up, and some of these arguments are based on archaeological fact. I'm not going to stand here and give you fairy stories or give you fiction or things which are mixed with facts and fiction. All we're going to say to you, and this is a fact, that since we've come across the Caucasian, we've been at war with him. Yeah, and since we come across the whites, wherever they are, they've always been a very barbaric and very brutal and very savage people. People without culture, people who don't respect the laws of nature, and the people who have always made war upon us. And we have tried to teach them and educate them and bring them to a stage of understanding. And every time they've stabbed us in the back and used what little knowledge they've taken from us and made their own means from it in their own mentality, and then used those means to make war upon us. And these are definite facts. I mean, I cannot give you fairy stories. I mean, even if you look at the archaeological foundation, some Caucasians, by the way, and this is something that needs to be said, some Caucasians who are looking for power and looking to take over Africa are saying that whites come from Africa. And they're saying this for a number of different reasons. They're saying this to try and defeat the argument of race. Yeah? It's to make us believe that because whites come from Africa, that in some way everybody is part of one global race, one global family, and as such race is not important. But the reality is, and the fact is, because we're dealing with facts now, the fact is that this world, and in this world, race is important. You know, all races need to organize, and all races do organize except for us. So we need to be careful when we start talking about the white man comes from Africa and the white man is an African. And we need to deal with the reality. And the reality is that black people, African people, we face in a situation where we are catching hell. And we are catching hell wherever we are as a people. And we are at the bottom of the ladder. Africa is the richest continent in the world, and yet we are starving and suffering wherever we are in the world. We are a people that are abused, ridiculed, enslaved, imprisoned, shot at. We are used as prostitutes, you know, for other races. We are used as sexual toilets. Our women are raped, you know, our men are castrated. And this has been going on for not just the last 500 years, but even before that. So these are the facts that we need to deal with. You know, we are trying to deal with a practical situation in a practical method. Yeah, and that's the reality of the situation. So I acknowledge what you're saying about the Caucasian, you know, but certainly we should not, whatever has happened to him in his past, and there's lots of archaeological facts to say perhaps he did come from Africa. If whatever's happened to him in his past, the reality is that now, in this point in time, he's always been a very barbaric and very cruel kind of race. And he's always tried to do things to abuse and bring us to the point that we are at now, even below that point, to wipe us off the face of the earth. And we need measures to regulate and control him. Otherwise, he will destroy us or bring us to the point where he will attempt to destroy us. And that's the reality that we need to deal with. We need to deal with the reality of where we are at this point in time. That means organizing our people. That means providing an agenda that organizes our people. That means forming organization and building communities. That means by owning and controlling our businesses in our community and trading and building up Africa and building up Africans wherever we are on this planet, and building schools and education systems that benefit us as a people. Those are the real issues that we need to deal with, because we can spend all day trying to debate how the Caucasian came about and what have you. Yeah, and we won't be anywhere where we need to be.
I hear that's good. Thanks very much.
Genesis is a punk station. Genesis is a God station. I and I Rasta say so. Sin, settle. It's easier.
Okay, Genesis 91.6 on your FM dial. I'm going to quickly go and take this call, yeah? Okay, we've lost the caller, yeah? 0958 248 398, yeah? Okay, I'm going to quickly take this call, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio?
Hello. Brother Macau from Mitcham.
Okay, your question, brother?
I just want to know what the brother's views on mixed relationships between us and the Caucasian.
You're with a Caucasian now? Did you say you're in a relationship with a Caucasian? No,
I'm not in a relationship. Let me stress it. No, I'm not. I'm just wondering what your views are on that polemic.
What our views are, as an organisation, we are in favour of the African man and African woman being together. We understand that the family is the basis for any race or any nation to progress. We understand that all peoples understand that. And we as a people always did understand that. Yeah, so we understand that the future of the race is as a black man and black woman, African man, African woman. And there can be no future unless we are together reproducing. And reproducing in a way that is not just haphazard, you know, a girl here or a man here, you know, in some confused method, and children produced without an understanding of who and what they are. We're talking about family units that are able to protect and provide for themselves as family units. We're talking about children that are brought up in family units that are confident and self-assured. Yeah? Because we have a situation where black people, African people as it is, are confused. You know, sometimes people talk about love. You know, I know you haven't mentioned that word, but people say about love. Oh, I love this person. Oh, I love this woman, you know. I love this man. You know, some brothers will say, because they're with a white woman, they will say, oh, I love this white woman, you know, I mean, she does everything for me. But the situation is, how can you love that which you do not understand? The brother says he loves the white woman, but he doesn't understand the white woman. And she might say that she loves him, but she doesn't understand him. If he understood her, he would not love her. So that's a measure of his lack of understanding, not only of himself, but of her too.
Well, I've had people explain to me that that's where we need to go. We need to sort of become a sort of a multicultural society, that we should live in harmony with the white man. Do you believe that's actually possible?
You see, if people are really in favour of harmony, then they'll understand this. They'll understand that the only way that you get peace as a race is for your race to have power. Yeah? You do not get peace if your race doesn't have power. If your race doesn't have power, you have a situation of genocide. Because if you look through history, you'll see all minorities of people who haven't had power are removed. But that when those groups of people or small minorities have power, then they are able to protect themselves. So we have to understand that mixed relationships and the confusion that it creates in our community is a method that they are using to destroy our community. Let me just highlight the point a little further. If you look now at media and the TV adverts, even subliminally they're doing it, you know. They're promoting this image, the black man, the white woman. You see a lot of images of black women, almost naked, almost butt naked, women with bikinis, big, huge posters, you know, of Tyra Banks, huge posters of Tyra Banks trying to take off her underpants. Huge poster, big, everywhere you go. Posters of Janet Jackson, you know, with a man holding her breast. Posters of her brother, what was it, something Groove Records or something, a brother's buttocks, you know. You see posters of a white woman's hands on a black man, you know, and posters of black men and black women naked all over the place. You see adverts now openly advocating black men and white women being together, and black women and white men being together, you know, openly advocating it. And we have to try and analyze why this is happening. We have to try and break down what this is happening in terms of our psychology. And we have to try and understand that we don't even number, 2 million, 3 million in this country? Yeah, if we continue the way that we are continuing, you know, we will not only cause confusion in our people, but we will totally remove ourselves as a people. Let me just highlight the point a little further. The Asian community in this country, you know, came here much later than us in time, much, much later. But they are far more organized than us. And mixed relationships in their community is far less, very small percentage. You know, not even 10%, not even 5% of their community mix out. And now, there used to be a time when white men used to go and have violence against the Indian. You know, there used to be a time when they used to, you know, the Skinner used to come out and chase the Indian down the street. Even some black people used to do that. You know, we used to talk about the Indian being as he can't even speak English. You know, he's got this shop and that shop. But the Indian was very smart. Yeah, he kept his community together. He kept his people together. He's got his little post office, his little shop, and then his cousin moved in across the road, and his next nephew moved in across the road. And before you know it, you got Southall. Before you know it, you got your Indian community. And now they start buying and trading with India. They start building up their own community and trading with India, trading with Asia. And now the British government, the Conservative government, is now coming to them and asking them to vote for them in the election. Saying that they can decide, the Indian, even though they're only number 4%, can decide who and what is the next government of this country. Because it's like a hung parliament. It's like a balance, yes? Now they are now going to the Indian and saying, please, Mr. Indian, will you vote for me? We need the Asian vote. We need your 4% of vote. We understand that your community is organized, and we need your vote in order to get into parliament. Now that is power. And that's what the Indian has worked towards. And we have to try and, we have to try and learn from that.
When we talk about mixed relationships, what about the product of those relationships, like children? How would you class people out of those relationships? Are they what some people would class as being white or black in your opinion?
You see, what we all have to understand, and this is why I say that we're dealing with a practical situation. You cannot be purists about this. We have to understand that all black people have some blood in them, and most of the time the blood in us is not our fault. It's not due to any reason when we didn't decide. Yeah, so we recognize black people as black people. Yes, we recognize Africans as Africans. We understand that the product between a white man and a black woman is a black person. We understand that and we recognize that. Yeah, we understand that because all other peoples recognize the fact that he is part of our race, even if we don't recognize him or her as being part of our race. So we recognize him as being African, we recognize him as being black because that's a fact.
Okay, thank you, my brother. Okay.
Respect, bro.
My name is Leo X. Chester. I want to big up Briggy for the Black Spiritual Mental Regeneration Show. I'm out of here. Peace.
We gonna do it like this.
Okay, the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show live question and answer session here. If you'd like to phone in and ask the brothers them any questions here, 0958248398. It's the brothers them from the Pan-African Congress. Anyway, brothers, yeah, I just want to quickly ask a question about black on black violence, yeah. Do you have a solution for the black on black violence?
Yeah, the situation of black on black violence will not be solved overnight. It's not an overnight solution. As we said before, you can't buy it from W.H. Smith's. This is a solution on black on black violence. Read it in a 24-hour pack, and then you'll go home and everything's solved. No, it's a steady progress. You see, what we have to try and understand is when you take a group of people and you confuse and mix up their head, and you tell them that black is not right, and they look in the mirror every morning, and they look at their face and they say, my lips are too large, my nose is too wide, my skin is too dark, my hair is too nappy. And they see that image in the mirror and they don't like that image. When they go on the street and they see the same image, which is an image or reflection of themselves, then they hate themselves and they hate that image. So that is why you get the black on black violence. It's a lack of self-love. When you as a black person, as an African person, learn to spiritually love yourself, then you will love other Africans because you will see them as an extension of yourself. And not only that, but you will be overjoyed just to see another African because you'll be overjoyed to be with yourself. So the fact that we have black on black violence is a recognition, or it's a status or an example of the lack of self-love. The fact that we have not yet reached the stage of loving ourselves. And some people might say, oh yeah, I love myself. But how you love yourself is to be measured in how you treat your community, how you treat your mother, your father, your brothers, your sister, your wife, your husband, your children. That's a measure of your own self-love because they're a reflection of you. Your mother and your father are part of you. If you don't love your mother and father, how can you love yourself? If you don't love your grandmother or your grandfather, how can you love yourself? If you don't love your children, how can you love yourself? If you don't love your own African woman as an African man, how can you love yourself? You cannot. And as an African woman, if you don't love your own African man, how can you love yourself? You don't love yourself. You can say it all the while and try and convince yourself, but you don't. A measure of your love is how much you love your community, how much you love your people, how much you love those features You know, that you are taught to hate. You know, that is a measure of your own self-love. How much you put in to build your community, that's a measure of your love. How much work you do to educate children, to build a black economic base, to provide a means to support and provide for our people. You know, that is a measure of your self-love. How much discipline are you willing to implement in order to ensure that we as a people are free? Because it will take discipline to get us from where we need to go here today forward into the 21st century. Yeah, so it is a measure of your love if you are able to discipline yourself sufficiently to move forward.
Okay then, brother. Anyway, yeah, this is Genesis Radio 91.6 on your FM dial. Open and question and answer session. Live open question and answer session 0958 248 398 if you want to ask the Pan-African brothers them any questions, okay? Anyway, brothers, yeah, if the Pan-Africans got in power tomorrow, yeah, what would be the first things you would do, yeah, to resolve the black situation that we're in now?
The first thing that we would do, I mean, this is a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical question.
You know, so it's not one that shouldn't be asked.
The first thing that we would do is remove all boundaries that exist between nation states on the continent of Africa. Africa is one continent. Yeah, but there should be no boundaries that exist between any state in Africa. The first thing that we do is, and the next thing we would do is we have a democratic system. We don't have a system where the military runs or a small elite runs. And then we run an economic situation or an economic business that benefits all Africans. That means we control the raw materials in Africa for the benefit of all Africans. Then we have a system which is elected. Individuals are elected by the people for the people. And we establish a spiritual system that is in harmony with nature. And we establish an economic system that is in harmony with nature. We establish an education system that is not only in harmony with nature, but in harmony with ourselves. So those are some of the basic things that we would do.
Okay, brother. Since that was a hypothetical question anyway, yeah, I can ask you another question here. So basically, anyway, we got a call. I'm gonna take this call anyway. Yeah, let's allow the outside calls, and then we're gonna get back. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Hello, Genesis Radio.
Hi, good evening, brother. I'm wondering about the state of South Africa. I was wondering how much power does Nelson Mandela really have?
You see, what we have to try and understand as a people is that the power rests with the people. It doesn't rest with an individual. Now, if you have an organization that is powerful and represents the people, then they can act as a method or as a leverage. Yes? The individual spokesperson is just a spokesperson. So it is the power of the people and the organization that determines things. So Nelson Mandela comes from the organization known as the ANC, African National Congress. Now the ANC, as an organization, does not have a bedrock in support amongst the majority of African people. Organizational and race support, you know, and they're very clever. The Caucasian is very smart, and he's very smartly done this, yes? And he has fooled us and hoodwinked us again, because the South African situation was a situation that all African people throughout the world were opposed to. All African, even if you could not get a black person to agree on something, they would agree, yes, South Africa is wrong. Yes, the situation in South Africa is wrong. It was something that united all black people. All black people said, that's not right. You know, this is Africa. You know, how can we have a situation of apartheid? That was something that all black people agreed. But what the white person has done, you know, has totally removed the situation of power. He's removed the question of power and made the revolution into one man. The revolution has never been about one man. You know, power and freedom has never been about one man or one woman. Power is about what is coming down to the people. That's what power is about. But a white man has said, yeah, the situation is about Nelson Mandela. Free Nelson Mandela, make him president, and hopefully you'll forget that we haven't got an economic base, that we don't control anything, that the white man's still there running the show. And they think that we are stupid enough to believe that a revolution is just one man. You know, and that man has suffered. I'm not taking away any suffering from that man. He has gone through detention and imprisonment and abuse, you know, a kind of abuse that most of us wouldn't even survive. But the revolution has never been about one man. It's always been about us, the majority of us. and what foundations we can lay for the future. So the revolution is about all of us. It's not about one man. There's no Messiah, you know, that can rescue us or save us. You know, we have to rescue ourselves.
Yeah, that's a good point. Also, I hear that there's certain countries in Africa are like fighting back against Western Western cultures moving into African countries. Like what's his name? In Zimbabwe. Who's the leader in Zimbabwe now? Robert Mugabe. That's something I read the other day. Who are acting in Western ways and mixing with Western people.
Yeah.
You hear anything about that?
Yeah, Zimbabwe is, I mean, with all peoples and with all groups of Africans, there are benefits and contradictions. And you'll see on the continent of Africa, as I was trying to explain to the brother, is a very complicated situation. The brother was saying there hasn't been any movements, but I was saying, we were explaining to him that there's been numbers of movements. Zimbabwe is a country that's fought a war to remove the Caucasian. Yeah, they fought a war. That's why the name is Zimbabwe, not Rhodesia, after Cecil Rhodes, but it's Zimbabwe, an African name after Great Zimbabwe, which is the ancient African civilization. And part of that spirit and culture that saw the revolution is still within the people. Now, there's been other things that have not been right. I mean, Ian Smith's still living in Zimbabwe like a king, you know, and whites are still there, you know, even after the revolution, yeah, after the war. But there is a certain spirit that moved the people at that time. And once you move a group of people, you know, at one point in time, then you can move them again, you know, and I hope that President Mugabe does continue to move the people forward. And I hope that there is organization, because it's not just him, but there is a grassroots organization in there, and I know that there are some movements there that will move the movement forward to a point where we can determine for ourselves what needs to be done. And there are some positive moves there, yeah, but not for us to necessarily get caught up in that, but understand that there are specific stages that we need to go through, and that we need to continue the movement so it's less sporadic and less emotional. Yeah, but yes, you're right. You're quite correct. There have been a number of positive movements there.
Just one other point, though. Hello?
Yes, brother.
Just one other point about this chat going on tonight. Why is it on so late? I want to know, why is it going on so late in the evening? Most people in their bed. People who don't know what's going on ain't going to find out because they're in their bed.
Yeah, but what they do is tape it, brother. I mean, the show's been going on for a little while now, yeah. But I know it's a bit late still, yeah, but I'm going to try and do something about getting a bit early, yeah?
Yeah, nice.
That's all I can say right now, yeah? All right, bud, peace, yeah?
Well, easy, Briggy. Enough respect to the max. This is Luciana saying, we're all in this thing together. Then how can't we all just live as one? Yeah. Whoa. Pick it up and run away when Briggy starts to play. Yes, I'm up and run away. That's a Luciano say. You're in tune to the physical station. Genesis.
Okay, 0958-248-398 for the caller that just called if you want to call back again, yeah? Anyway, I want to quickly take this call, yeah? Hello, Genesis?
Yeah, hello, Sandra from Peckham.
Okay, Sandra.
In a few questions.
Okay.
Can you just tell me, is your organisation a non-violent organisation?
By non-violence, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, do you, you know, is your organisation set up with military and all that lot?
You see, we believe in self-defense. Yes, it's a principle understanding of all creatures, all things on this planet, not just humankind, but even in the animal kingdom. Yes, that you need to protect yourself. Now, we're not about violence, you know, because as African people, we would be very foolish to be about violence. Yeah, but we're about self-defense. I mean, it would be foolish for us to be about non-violence if we are attacked, because that's against what is natural, yeah? So we believe in self-defense.
Right, so you have no military or anything like that because, you know...
We believe in self-defense, sister.
Also, I wanted to know, have you set up an organisation for sort of like people who want to be repatriated back to Africa, you know, and have actually got skills and, you know, want to further themselves to rebuild Africa? Is there any sort of like organisation that you do?
Yeah, we have the means. We can connect you with individuals and we can facilitate that if that's what you wish to do. If you feel that you can aid, or you can have a positive part to play in that development, we can do that. We can help you.
Okay then, great. Thanks a lot then. That's all I've got to ask. Okay, bye.
Yo, this is the spiritual, the mental and the physical regeneration show with Briggy. And I love that. TCO them consciousness.
Okay, the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show, live question and answer with the brother Onyaka in the studio, yeah, from the Pan-African movement, okay? If you'd like to phone and ask the brother any question, 0958 248 398, yeah? That's 0958 248 398. Anyway, yeah, brother, yeah, still, because this is a question and answer session, I have to ask you questions still if no one is phoning at the moment. Anyway, so what exactly is the Pan-Africans doing for the black community at the moment, anyway?
If you look at our purposes and what we are doing is getting Pan-African from the cradle to the grave. So from the inception, from the time that you were born until the time that we die, we have a program that is aided and there for your benefit. That means everything to cater for your educational, economic, spiritual, material needs. And that's the policy of the organization. And that is what we've implemented. That is what we do.
Okay then, brother, yeah. And what do you teach on actual self-development?
We teach that the African, the human being, is that there are many different stages, has many different paths to your own self-development. So we say that there is a mental side, which is your mind, and then there is a spiritual side for your spirit, and there is a physical side for your body. And we say that all three are connected. So you do something to attack your spirit, then that affects your body. You do something to physically damage your body, and that affects your spirit. You do something that damages your mind, and that affects your mind and your body. They're all connected. So we have to understand that it's a holistic approach, and that's an African-centered form of development, and it's a holistic approach that will move us forward.
Okay, we're going to get back to that holistic. What do you say, holistic something? Yeah, holistic, yeah. We're going to get back to that in a minute, yeah? Anyway, we've got a call. I'm going to quickly take this call here, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio?
Yes, OG Briggy, it's Jerry D again.
Okay, Jerry D.
Yeah, quick thing. Now, you sound very much like the Nation of Islam, brother. You're the same way, like you care about the black community, you want to build up and everything else, yeah? How comes you haven't got together with them yet? I mean, you've been in existence a long time.
Are you saying that we haven't got together with them?
Have you?
We have a working relationship with all black organizations.
Right.
You know, it is our policy. We are mandated to have a working relationship with all black organizations. You know,
how close are you? How close are you with the development?
You let me finish, brother. We are mandated to work with all black organizations so long as it's in the interest of the race.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I like the sound of that. Right, yeah. What I'm going to say again is, what about, I mean, talking about military now, yeah? Because remember, there's no point of building up anything unless you know you can defend it. Yeah? You agree with that, bruv?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we come with a 1-pop gun, them will come with a 2-pop gun. We come with 2, them will come with 20. So, I mean, what are we going to do about them being able to annihilate us totally with the press of even a button?
See, what we have to understand is that you said they annihilate us with a button.
Yeah.
See, but they can't drop a bomb on us here, can they?
No, not while we're amongst them, but
exactly.
Don't your organization speak about repatriation? About going back?
That's another question you're asking. You're going to let me answer the first question first.
Carry on. Yeah.
As I was saying, they can't drop a bomb on us here.
No.
Not a bomb like that. Not an atomic bomb or a nuclear bomb.
Let them find a chemical that can react to the melanin in your body, and we'll find out, yeah?
You let me answer the question?
Yes, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so they can't drop that kind of bomb on us. Yeah, that is true. They are devising methods, yeah?
Well, of course they are, man. They're working 24/7.
They are devising methods, yeah? To devise chemical warfare against us. AIDS is part of that biological chemical warfare. Yeah? We have to understand that the Caucasian is going to continually do that unless we devise methods to regulate and control him.
Right. Yeah. But what are we doing to control him? I mean, it sounds good on tape, but I mean, really, what are we doing to control him?
I'm not going to give that strategy.
No. Listen, we got to go deep, bruv, because people want to know what's going on now.
What I will say to you is this.
Yeah.
If you wish to do something for your race, then you should start the first process. And the first process is to join an organisation.
Yeah, but I understand. But they've got to be doing something. But yeah, I see what you mean. Because you can join an organisation that just don't go nowhere. The people that joined David Koreshi's organisation, I mean, where are they now? But yeah, I see what you're saying. Anyway, thanks for answering our questions, blood. Keep up the good work.
Right, brother.
All right, peace. Briggy, easy.
Hi, we're the young generation of Genesis. When it comes to people teaching, we want to hear the real facts. Thank you.
These days in school, we don't learn about no black history, but when it comes to Briggy's chat show, that's when we learn about real black history.
So please, don't preach, teach. Thank you.
Okay, Big Bad Genesis on your FM dial. Anyway, yeah, don't forget, yeah, if you'd like to call in and ask the brothers any questions, 0958 248 398. I just want to take time to big up the driver. Don't respect the driver, forget to mention it earlier on, but I can't forget this anyway. Anyway, back to what we're dealing with, yeah. So, brothers, yeah, so basically, so what can we do, yeah, as black brothers and sisters, yeah, to avoid the New World Order and the mark of the beast?
Yeah, this is a question that keeps coming up. In fact, it was a question that you asked the week before.
Everybody wants to know about that.
The reality is, and we said before, is that sometimes, and I know it's very difficult for where we are as a people, and I know it's very easy to do. We get so caught up in the emotion, in such an emotional reaction. You know, a man step on my shoe, I react to it. Yeah. So this New World Order, because the Caucasian has said it's the New World Order, we suddenly react to it. Oh, it's the New World Order. But in fact, what we need to think about is what should our world order be? Yes. That means the first step to not a reaction, you know. So we're not always reacting in an emotional way. Oh, the Caucasian's done this, what can we do? Caucasian's done this. Caucasian will always do things against us. It's in his nature and his interests in order to keep us in a position and to, in fact, control us further to do what he's doing. You know, he and she. Because sometimes they think it's just he. He and she. It's in their interest to do what they're doing. When we get over this New World Order, and we will, there'll be another world order, and another one, and another one. You know, every 100 or so years, they come up with a new phase. You know, the Berlin Conference, 1885. After that, another conference. Before that, another conference. Before that, another one. You know, so they are constantly devising new world orders. You know, and they've been doing that for the last 500 years. You know, every 50 or so years, every 60 or so years, every time they feel there's a little bit of difficulty, every time they feel that they are being removed or they're being too controlled from the planet, or they feel that we're reproducing too much or we're becoming too powerful, another world order, another world order. That's within their nature to do so. What we have to try and do is come together as a people to establish our world order. Yes, what we need as a people. And when we will determine what happens on this planet, you know, because we are the fathers and mothers and guardians of this planet, as has been said before. You know, and it's not up to a Caucasian who's only just come lately and has no culture and civilization anyway to decide what the world order is. There are only 1 in 10 of the world's population. They've only been here recently, you know. They've been only just come out of the cave just lately. You know, it's not for them to decide. You know, it's up to us to decide what the world order is. And when we decide that, we'll decide that in relationship to what is natural, in harmony to the planet and ourselves.
But, brother, there's a reality that there is a world order, a new world order out there, yeah, and these white folks are in control. So what I'm asking you once again here is, what can we do to avoid the new world order and the mark of the beast?
We need to organize ourselves on every level. As I said before, there is no miracle solution on every level. Educationally, economically, self-defense, every level. We need to organize ourselves in organization. That is the only solution to the world order or any other world order of any race that is not our own. Yes, to organize ourselves on all levels. Spiritually, educationally, economically, on every level. That is the way that we need to move forward. And you can only do that by being part of an organization.
Okay, the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show, live question and answer. This is what, people? 0958 248 398. You got no questions to ask the brothers? It don't matter. I'll keep rolling on still anyway, yeah? So, brother, yeah, as we mentioned earlier on, yeah, every other black organisation is saying that they have the solution, yeah, to save the black race, basically, yeah? Okay, I'm going to hold it there, yeah? I'm going to get back to the question. I'm going to take this call, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio?
Hello, Genesis.
Hello.
This is a question to the gentleman. About some months ago, Bernie Grant, this MP, the Labour MP, called for repatriation money for who want to be repatriated to their individual country. Was he in support? I want to ask the brother if he was in support of that.
See, what we got... Your buddy still there? You still there, brother?
Yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah, what we got to understand is that no reactionary, emotional slogan, statement, or action is going to get us out of our situation. You see, repatriation by itself would mean nothing, because if we go to the Caribbean or back to Africa with a screwed-up mentality, all we're going to do is spread that screwed-up mentality somewhere else. What we have to try and understand is that we need to organize ourselves as a people, wherever we are. We have to understand that we are a black people, an African people, and that we need to have Africa as our focus, but that we are a global people. The only way that you can get power and respect on this planet is to organize yourself wherever you are. That is why the Caucasian, the white man, is promote Bernie Grant. They promote Bernie Grant as the spokesperson, as if he is somehow been voted as a leader of black people. Yeah?
Well,
but the reality is that we are the leaders of ourselves. Don't look to know. You see, today, an individual may stand up and say something, and you may agree with that today. But tomorrow, you don't know whether that individual is being paid by somebody else. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there is no miracle solution coming from one individual. And repatriation, which is not organized, controlled, or has a focus, will cause us more trouble than we are facing now.
Well, I disagree with you, because you're talking about organization. Had we supported him with that question, it would have opened up all that the question we wanted answered. It would have opened up the road for us, because even though he said repatriation, for those, there would be still people living here, and it would place us who born here or who want to stay here, would have put them into a better position, and they would have to get respect. We'd have to get respect.
But brother,
because in fact, to me, it was the best thing ever happened to black people in this country is when he said that.
Yeah, but you see, what it is, buddy, you see, some people want to leave this country because they feel they're catching too much hell. Yeah? That's the reason why a lot of people say, oh, we want repatriation. You know, because they're catching hell. Now, that's not a reason to leave. If you want to go to Africa to build Africa, or you want to go to the Caribbean to build the Caribbean, and you want to do it on an agenda that's going to benefit the people there, then I'll say, yes, we will help you. But we're not going to allow you to just leave just because you're catching hell, just because you want an easy ride, an easy time, because you feel that you've got some racism here, and you think, let me just go somewhere else where I'm not going to catch the racism. No, that's not a reason. That's not a reason to leave. And I'm not saying that you individually, that's your reason or why you're saying this argument. But I'm saying the majority of people, they want to leave because they want an easy ride. And they feel that they can get an easy ride by living in a country which is majority black. And that's not a good reason. In fact, not only is it not a good reason, but you know that if you are conducting a campaign, yeah? You know if you're conducting a campaign, if you're going to go into war, yes? And you have an army, you have your battalion, your regiment, whatever. And if at a point when you're just about to meet the enemy, you know, some of your soldiers decide, I've had enough of this, I want to desert, you know, I want to leave, you know, I want to go home, you know, and I don't want any part of this. What do they call that individual? They call that individual a deserter, because that individual can see that the war is coming, can see that the trouble is coming, and is running away from the trouble. Yeah, and that's what a lot of individuals want to do. But A lot of people want to do that. I'm not saying that's all, because some people want to go there and build the place. But I'm saying a lot of individuals, they want to go to Africa because they feel they get an easy ride. You know, but what they don't understand is that by going to Africa, it's not an easy ride, it's harder. If you want to do something progressively in Africa, it's harder. You have to have an organization before you go to Africa and do things that's going to benefit the race.
Again,
you need to be able to, you need to have certain skills, yes? And if you haven't acquired them here, you're going to find it very difficult to acquire them there.
Well, you see, you're straying from the question I asked. You see, what I'm trying to say to you, it would have opened up it would have answered all the questions we want to answer here. We would have known exactly where we are at here. We would establish ourselves. If we agree for repatriation, it's not all of us going to go. Because most people, a lot of people born here and all that, it would have established us here, and it would have established us. There's satisfaction in this for all black people.
But brother, I'm trying to give you an analogy, because sometimes it's difficult just to argue over conjecture, and I don't want you to think that we're just arguing on an emotional level, yeah? So I'm going to try and give you an analogy, or an analogy of a group of people, yes? Even though they haven't gone through what we have gone through. I'm just going to give you an analogy. If you look at the Asian community, there was a point in the 70s, yeah, when some of them were arguing for repatriation, yeah? Now, they were arguing for repatriation in the 70s because they were catching hell, yeah? But now, in the 1990s, you'll see that the Asian community got its act together. Don't ask for no repatriation anymore.
All right, all it right there. Okay.
They're not arguing for that. Because they have established their communities.
Right.
Economic base.
Could that be because they did call for repatriation while they established their communities?
No,
we should ask for repatriation.
They established their communities because they went back to their own culture. They built their communities. They educated their children. They built businesses and supported their own businesses in their communities. They married their own women and their own men. And they produced children that respected and understood their language and their culture. And that is the real issue. Power comes from your people, yes? Comes from your people. How you can organize your people, yes, to respect, love themselves, and organize themselves. That's where power comes from.
Right.
It comes from moving. You don't get power by asking or pleading the white man, yes, to repatriate you. No. In the history of a people, if you look at the history of a people, in history, not a single group of people have established power through repatriation. Repatriation has always been used, yes, as a method to destroy a people, especially a minority of people. So we have to be very careful with it. Repatriation has always been used. And the white man has always sent in individuals into minority communities to plead for repatriation as a method to cause confusion in that community.
Disagree, because if you look at the Jews, you could say that they've been repatriated to where they are now, and although it wasn't...
It was a different situation. The Jews organized themselves, yes, as a people, yeah? And they got together as a people, organized with their own communities. And they said, we need our own area, our own space. They said, let some of us stay here and some of us go back there.
Right.
Yes, but they organized as a people. They got their people together, their culture together. We have not got our culture together. We have not got our communities together. We are in no position to be arguing for repatriation. We have not put in the work, yes, to be in a luxury to say about coming here and going there. We need to organize ourselves right here. We have not done the work.
To be honest, my brother, I think...
we have not done the work.
I think we are, as I said, we are, not to say organized, we are successful here, in my opinion. Black people is successful in this country. As I said, to open it, blow it wide open, or to kickstart it, the only way you can kickstart this thing is to ask for repatriation. Not reparation, it's to ask for repatriation. If you ask for repatriation, you start the whole thing going, my friend. It clear the air once and for all, because let's get to the bottom of it. Like everybody gonna leave these shores, and who leave will be happy. Who stay here will be happy.
The issue, brother, is not repatriation. The issue is power. That's the issue, power. Yeah.
No, we're not ready for power, because one man is up already. We're not ready for that sort of power. Power will come from God, and we're not ready for that sort of power yet. We have enough power. You understand? We are a free people.
The issue. The issue is power. How much, as a people, how much power you as a people have. That is the issue. Yes?
10 minutes, brother, 10 minutes.
That's
all
the
right,
issue.
all right. Okay. Nice one.
Okay, brother.
Now this is the spiritual, the physical, the mental regeneration show with Papa Briggy. Every time to get you conscious and with a positive mind. Yeah, it's not a say you're big every time.
Okay, we're gonna go quickly and take this call here, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio?
Yeah, I've just been listening to that man chatting just now, and I feel you need to check things a bit deeply, because black people in this country ain't got no power. We are not successful in this country at all. I think the way he's been talking about repatriation back to I presume he's talking about the West Indies, he's thinking of it as an individual process. No, black people in this country are very individual, act as individuals too much. The community sense of back in the 60s that they had when they first come here has gone.
That's right. I agree. I agree.
Everybody's acting as individuals.
That's right.
Get my video. Get my BMW. Get this for me. Get this for me. They're not acting as a community like they did in the 60s and the 70s when the community was strong.
That's right.
Most of it being through the church, but the community, everybody acted for each other. So I remember when I was young, and we used to go and visit that we used to go to church with. And we didn't just go there talk and say, yeah, and da. We said, go there, we said, bring food, bring this, bring that, even bring talk, do a handful of shopping. And we said, go there and visit people. You know what I mean? That kind of community sense is gone. There's too much individualistic attitudes that are going on out there. And people want going back to Jamaica and everyone wants to go back to the West Indies. They're thinking of it as an individual thing for themselves.
That's right.
They're not thinking of it as going back to help other people.
That's right. I agree.
And that's why getting things a bit mixed up.
I agree with you, brother. That seemed to have been the tone of his argument, you know, and it seems to be a tone of some people's argument. You're advocating that, yeah. You're quite correct. We have moved away. That's why I said we have moved away from the philosophy of what is good for us as a people, as a community, yeah. And we need to get more towards that stage. Yeah, you're quite right. You're quite right. Because when we understand that the community and the people are an extension of us, yes, then we understand that when we help the next brother, we're helping us. Yes, I'm helping myself, you know. And when I help you, then I help me. Yes, and you are a connection of me. You cannot be strong. I cannot be strong unless you are strong. Yeah, and it's quite right. It's quite right.
Okay, we're going to quickly take this call here, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio?
Good morning to you, Briggy, Mikey.
Yeah, good morning.
I'd like to say good morning to the brother as well, who's in the studio with you, your guest. I've got a little quick question I was going to ask it and then I'm going to hang up, yeah? I want to know, how can we get together as a people if we've got so many different denominations all trying to pull us all in strange directions? You can answer that for me to understand the question.
It'll be a slow process, and I know it's difficult. It's like you're in a boxing ring, and the man that you're fighting is he's been training for years, for 500 years in how to fight, yeah, and he's ready and he's got the best equipment, he's the best trained and everything, and there you are in the corner. And you haven't got anything. Your arm's broken, your leg's broken, you can't even see straight, and you're wondering how you're going to fight this man, you know. But the reality is that we need, we can't get out of the boxing ring because we're in the boxing ring, yeah. So it's going to be a slow process, and it's going to take time. And it's going to take time. And the first step is an awakening of who and what you are. And the second step is to put that into effect by becoming part of a larger body that's working towards the liberation of your people. And ensuring that that body works on all levels, educationally, economically, spiritually, materially, to uplift the people. It's a slow step-by-step process. There's no miracle cure.
Okay,
and we are the vehicle.
For the miracle cure. I'm sure that 99, even 100% of the black listeners to this show tonight know where they're coming from, and they're looking for somewhere to go. We've got so many leaders, so-called leaders, trying to say, "What, you should go with us, go with that." That's where the problem is. We've been chatting for too long.
Don't look for leaders then. That's what I'm saying to you, bro. Don't look for leaders. Look to yourself. You are a leader. Yeah? You are a leader. Yeah? What I would say to you is that you need to be part of organisation. Yeah, but don't look to leaders. Leaders will, you see, an individual may stand up and may be righteous today, but tomorrow may not be so. So don't look to leaders, because they will lead you in all kinds of places. Yeah? Look to yourself, yes? And look at what you are doing. Are you doing things that are sufficient to build the race? What are you doing? Yes? Don't look to leaders. Yeah, look to yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand what you are saying, and I respect what you're saying and everything, but I'm sure most of us as black people are doing the best that we can just to survive where we are. You know what I mean? Without looking for everybody else. You're saying, "Whoa, everybody's got to get into this, got to get into that, and we've got to do everything for everybody." How can we do that?
No, you see, you can do a small thing. You can do a small thing, yeah? And in that small thing, that can do a lot long-term to help and benefit our people. Let me explain what I'm saying to you. Sometimes people feel they might have to give up something, but you don't have to give up necessarily anything. I'll explain what I'm saying. If you could put £1 a week, just £1 a week aside, yes, every single week, if you could give up something for a week and put that £1 aside, after 1 year, you'd have £52. After 2 years, you might have £100.
Okay, hear what then. This is what I'm saying. All right, so £1 a week. I'll give £1 a month to Nation of Islam, and everybody's popping up all over the place.
Yeah, but they will pop up, I wouldn't, you see, what I'm trying to say to you, buddy,
I walk through Brixton and say, find a call, buy yours now, mate, here you go. This is the liberation of all black people. Then you'll come on the radio, here we go. We ain't nowhere, there's too much talk.
You see, we're at a stage where we need to talk. You see, we as an organisation are not about talk. That's why you don't see us on no TV. There are certain other organisations you see around more. You might not have even heard of us before this.
No. That's not true.
You have heard of us, yeah? But we're not necessarily about grandstanding or bandstanding. Yeah, that's not our purpose.
How are you going to get to our people?
Yeah, but that's the point I'm saying
today. Look at the TV and listen to the radio. That's how you can contact our youth.
That's why we're here on the radio today. That's why I said to you, you said, why do we need to talk? And I'm trying to explain to you why we're here talking. I'm trying to explain that we're not about talk, but we need to be here speaking on this radio today in order to reach people. And as you just rightly said, how are you going to reach people unless you talk to them? That's why we're talking right now. But we're not about
have you got any literature or something that our youths can go and buy and sit down and read? Because, we've heard enough talk now. I think we have to look deeper into what everybody's up to.
We have a meeting on Wednesday, July the 3rd, 1996. And it's at the African Caribbean Cultural Centre. And the title
the African Caribbean Cultural Centre, where's that?
African Caribbean Cultural Centre, that's 9 Clarendon Road.
Yeah.
That's London N8, Hornsey, near Turnpike Lane Tube Station.
I know it.
Yes, African Caribbean Cultural Centre, 9 Clarendon Road, London N8. And the title of the topic is The Power Within, the Key to Spirituality. What are the benefits of fasting, prayer and meditation? And the speakers will be Nana Ibenwa and Quaker Sikani. Yeah, and at that meeting will be Marifa Books, which is part of our economic side, and we have books.
Sorry, the what book?
Marifa Books. Yeah, you said
all right, yeah.
You said you wanted access to books, yes?
Yeah, that's right.
We have books, and we can give you that information.
I keep hearing you saying holy and spiritual thing, and I know where you guys coming from, really.
Yeah, and there's a number that you can call if you want to find out more information. That's 0181.
I just want the books.
802-4489.
Great.
That's the number you can call us.
Okay, thank you very much, brother, for taking the time out to speak to me. Briggy, respect to you. I know I've taken up more than my 5 minutes' time, so I should bid you good morning.
All right.
Laters.
All right, brother.
Now this is the physical, the mental, the regeneration with Papa Briggy, the intellectual, the spiritual, conscious one, to educate the nation on the Genesis radio station. Snagapuse, Briggy, stay positive. For real.
Okay, Genesis on your FM dial. Okay, the Black Spiritual Mental Physical Regeneration Show. Live question and answer sessions. We have the Pan-African brothers them in the house, okay, representing. If you would like to call in and ask the brothers them any questions at all, 0958 248 398, yeah? That's 0958 248 398. Okay, brothers, yeah? So, getting back to that question, like, on, you know, every organization and every religious black organization out there basically saying that they have the key to save the black race or to bring the black race. Bloody heck. And we want to take this call here and we'll get back to my question, yeah? Hello, Genesis Radio?
Greetings.
Greetings.
I just want to ask the brothers from the PACM, what do you see as what is the role of sisters within the PACM? And what do you see as the role of African women on the road to liberation?
Okay, within the African system, and I know some of this may be known to some of us more than others, there is a twin lineal system, which is that is based on the reciprocity between male and female. That's an understanding that men and women should have equal respect. That is not to say that men and women are the same. You see, the role of white feminism, or white feminism, is to teach that women are the same as men. You know, it's for white women to get equal power with white men. And that's not what it should be necessarily about. But it's about an understanding that men and women are different, but they need equal respect. And within the African system, it was a system based upon peace and harmony. And that peace and harmony was seen as being a very female system. So you'll see even above the twin lineal respect for men and women, that there is a belief in that womanhood is sacrosanct, and that motherhood is the most divine and the most spiritual thing, because a woman can reproduce, and that's something that a man cannot do. But a woman can only reproduce if the man is there to provide the seed. But it's an understanding that because the woman can reproduce, and that's life, and Africans always respected life, since the first man or woman comes through the woman, then the woman is a divine woman, and the woman is the key or the root towards African spirituality and towards African culture itself, so that we have an understanding that women carry culture. Yeah, women are the methods or the means by which culture is delivered to the children. And it's been said before that you can measure a race by the content of the women of the race. Yes, and when women are preoccupied with a certain thing, you will see that the children, and in fact the nation, become preoccupied, since they are the first contact that they have, with the first contact any of us have with this world is with our mother. Yes, our mother is the first point of contact. You know, the mother is the one that suckles us. Mother is the one that we first cleave to, even before we know that there's a man around. Yeah, so the fact that the culture of our people needs to come through our women. So when we see our women, you know, moving along a progressive line, then we know that the culture has to come with them. And when we see our women moving along a regressive line, we know that the culture is coming with them. That is why the Caucasian, you know, at this point in time in this country, switched his emphasis to the woman, yes, to getting the black woman into the white household, for the white man to obtain the black woman as his woman, because he understands that the woman is the vehicle towards culture. He understands that the woman keeps culture together. You know, that they are the bedrock of the culture. Not to say that the man's role within that is not important. The man's role is extremely important. And men have abrogated their responsibility for far too long to protect and defend their community, their women and their children. And they've allowed it, or they've said, oh, let the woman do everything. And that's not what it's about at all. Men have a role to play, and their most important role is to protect and defend the community, the race, the nation. from all forms of aggression, internal or external, that will cause harm to the race. And men have systematically failed in that, which is why a lot of us are in this position, and we need to take up the role that we once had to protect and defend our community, our people, and our nation. That is part of our role within the family, within the community, and within the nation. Yes? So it is about a twin lineal thing, a respect and understanding that men and women have an equal, but they are not the same, that they are different, and they need the differences in order to survive. Men and women need to be different to survive. If they are the same, we will not survive. If men start behaving like women, then there will be no men. If women start behaving like men, then there will be no women. Men and women need to be different, but they need to respect each other based on those qualities that they need to survive. So men and women need to be different, yes, but they need to respect their differences and understand what role and what part those differences play in the regeneration and in the future development of life and race itself.
So along that line, what would your stance be on homosexuality?
Homosexuality is a negative form of anti-life practice that the Caucasian has promoted amongst us. It's been prevalent in his society for thousands of years, but he promotes amongst us as a means of genocide against our race. Yes, it's like all the other forms of negative anti-life practices that they try and promote and push on us as if we're sexual toilets that they can discard their sexual garbage in. No, we are against homosexuality because it is detrimental to the race. It's detrimental to the development of the race, and it is something which doesn't progress life at all. It is anti-life. You cannot produce a man and a man having physical relationship. I won't even call it sex. Having a physical relationship with her cannot produce life. You know, it is impossible that a man and a man can produce life. Men and women are supposed to be together. They are naturally supposed to be together. The African man and the African woman are naturally supposed to be together. The black man and the black woman are supposed to be together. There is something very powerful about when a black man and black woman are in harmony together. It's something very powerful. If you go on the streets, you know, of this country, and you see a black couple, a young couple together, not arguing, not quarreling, just being together in harmony, there is a power there, and you can feel the energy, yes? And that is part of the harmony that we need to reach as men and women together. And it's not going to be an easy thing. It will take time because so much has been put into our minds to prevent us from getting that harmony. But we need to get that harmony, and we need to be in harmony with each other. It's an extremely important part. In fact, without that, there can be no future reproduction. Because if men and women don't agree, you know, if men start sleeping with men, you know, and women start sleeping with women, then there'll be no future for the race, because no more children will be born. So it's essential that men and women get the harmony together in order for the race to propagate itself. It's an essential part.
Okay, thanks for answering my question. Quite Harry.
Yeah, 2 turn up.
Well, watch here, see the People Talk show. Frisco Kid love that show. The worst is a Black Power show. And you know me have to look on some guy and tell him, say, well, Black Power, them ya bun.
Oh, this is DJ. You can call me Daddy on the Regeneration show.
We got Briggy and our Genesis school coming from the juggling squad.
This is Spencer Fern, 2-time London amateur boxing champion, just turned pro, and the most handsome light middleweight champion ever. I big up all the Genesis crew. Don't stop, listen. 91.6.
Hello, my name is Sheena. I'm 14. When I'm at home, I listen to OG Briggy show, Bad Boy show.
Now big up yourself, Briggy, from the Regeneration show, coming from the Sandy. See?
Yeah, this is Danny Williams, next heavyweight champion in the world.
This is Khan Muhammad from the South London Study Group of the Nation of Islam. So to say big up to the one Briggy on the Genesis Radio. We need more strong black men in a community like this, representing our people in a positive peace.
My name is Diane Abbott, Member of Parliament for Hackney North and Stoke Newington, and I listen to Briggy on Genesis Radio.
My name is Janine. I'm 9 years old. I always listen to Briggy on Genesis FM. I really love OG Briggy's show.
This is Mikey Simpson tuning in to the Regeneration show with OG Briggy.
This is Curtis Walker, bigging up Briggy on Genesis Radio, big time.
Big up the man like Briggy. MC Scheme said that from Sterling Collat, 9 to 1.6 every time.
Yeah, this is Sasserank speaking for OG Briggy. I just want to say to our station, man, make we unite.
Briggy on Genesis Radio, seeing no lad hunger and say that, and you know, so we don't take back talk.
My name's Jade. My name's Jade. And my name's Bianca. We listen to our Dad's Talk Show. It teaches you about your own black history. That's why our Dad's special. That's why our Dad's special. We love you, Dad. Keep up the good work.
Hello, this is Duke McKenzie. I listen to Briggy on Genesis Radio.
It's quite free to McMillan. Bigging up Briggy on Genesis Radio.
Atonement.
Tonight, you mentioned spiritual and spirituality. Can you explain that?
You see, sometimes people talk about spirituality as if it's hocus pocus, as if it's escapism. They start giving you a lot of facts and figures and start talking to you about things that are external to your existence. But the African self, the Pan-African self, the one that we're dealing with, our spirituality was always about life. So when we talk about spirituality, we talk about those things which can enhance life. So we talk about spirituality...
Sorry, I can't hear you that clear, you know. Can you get a bit closer to the mic or
yeah,
you sound a bit far away?
So when we talk about spirituality, we talk about things which are in harmony with life. Yes, which are there to sustain and increase life. So for us, spirituality is the relationship between the African man and the African woman. Having a good relationship between the African man and the African woman. We know that that is very spiritual, the relationship that you have. And the better the relationship is, then that will produce more life. That's why we say that's very spiritual. The relationship...
Then, answer me something then. What about the spirituality that you find for yourself?
Yeah, we're coming to that.
I mean, without the partner.
But what's what I'm trying to explain to you, brother, yeah, is that the spirituality is part of life, yes? When we talk about spirituality, we talk about those things which enhance life. Now, in relation to
I don't understand that, you know. Explain that. Explain what you're saying to me, man. I don't understand that when you say that spirituality enhances life. I want to know when you're saying spirituality, what do you mean? Explain that actual word to me.
That's what I just did explain it to you. It's not a religion. See,
I never asked you that. I want to know what that word means. That's what
I'm trying to explain to you. Spirituality is your own spirit, yes? And how your spirit interacts with other spirits. That's what spirituality is. It's a system based on your... You see, the spirit is like your mind and body. It's all part of you as an individual, but also it's connected to the rest of the world.
Okay.
Yeah, so your spirituality... So your spirituality... Yes, is how you also interact with the rest of the world, including your own woman.
Yeah, I hear you, eh? But,
so the power of... So when we talk about spirituality, we're not talking about an escapism. Yes, we're talking about how you interact with individuals in your community, how you interact with your children, your mother, your father, how you interact with other African people.
So then why do you call that spirituality?
Why do we call it spirituality?
Yeah, because you know, there's other, like, people would call it just like love, you know, or just living human beings. Why necessarily spirituality?
Love. You see, when people talk about love, is a misnomered word. You know.
Love is a what?
But when I say misnomer, I mean it's a word that people use and don't know what it means, like a misnomer. Yeah.
So do you know what it means?
Yeah, but some people say, "Oh, I love you," and then tomorrow I say, "I hate you." Yeah? Oh, I love this, and then I hate that. Yeah? So, oh, I love you because you've got a nice car. Oh, I love you because you're good to me. So if you're not good to me, then you don't love me no more.
True love.
So we can't talk about...
Prophecy tells you no greater love ever man that he laid down his life for his brethren.
That's right.
I'm talking about that love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So love is part of it. You see, spirituality, yeah, is nothing... Spirituality is internal, but also it's external, yeah? So when I said to you it's about your relationship that you have between your people and your community, that's part of it. It's also the relationship that you have with yourself, Yes, but to have a good relationship with yourself, you must have a good relationship with others that are around you, your African people.
Okay, I hear you.
And it's about being at peace with yourself.
Okay. Second question now. You're about the 5th brother that's come on the radio, right? And liken us onto the Asians, and he's trying to use the Asians as a good example.
I didn't liken us. I didn't liken us, brother. I said, let us use an example.
This is what I'm saying. All right, well, not liken, but use the Asians as an example for us.
I said I used the Asians to explain, because the brother was talking about a particular issue.
I can't hear that clear, you know.
Yeah, the brother was using a particular issue. He was talking about a particular issue, and I was saying how one group of people, yes, how they are now operating. I also
I know what you said, Bridget. I know what you said, but hear what I'm saying now, right? Now, the point I'm trying to make to you is that what the Asian history in England, all right, and the Asian history from since colonialization,
it's different, yeah.
It's far different from ours.
That's right.
Okay, so everything that we've gone up until this very day, the Asians can't remember this. I heard you say the Asians come a lot later than us. I was at school when a lot of Asians come here, the Bangladeshi Asians and the Asians that Idi Amin kicked out. All right. Now, then people came with a lot, well, not necessarily the Bangladeshis, but the African Asians, the Asians that come out of Africa, they came with a vast amount of wealth out of Africa. And that is what enabled them to open their shops and their businesses and keep their communities together. Now, we never had that. The brother that phoned earlier on, he was trying to show you, say, in terms of the repatriation now, because everyone's using this Asian as an example. The Asians are no example to us. I don't know when last you went back to Africa, all right? But right now, Africa needs as many people there as possible, you understand, to help build it up, to help do the simple things that need to be done that is not being done. And as the brother was saying, it's us here in the diaspora, as you want to call it, that is the ones that is equipped, have got the technical mind, have survived in this kind of environment. We should be going back to Africa now and helping the Africans at home to make Africa what it is supposed to be. You understand? Mm-hmm. But from what you were saying, boy, well, repatriation is this and that. And secondly, you know, the other thing what I didn't agree with what you said is that I don't know when last you've gone on the streets and talked to people, because there's a lot of people out there that want to go back to Africa. And not for their personal, not for an easy life. Because if you know Africa, when we go to Africa, we got to go with the frame of mind that we're settlers. We're going out there and it's going to be rough. There's nothing easy. There's no dole system. Depending on where you are, the nearest hospital is how many miles away. So when you're talking about, you know, people are going out there because they think it's an easier set of life, even to escape racism. The other thing I want to say is when we now, as West Indians, go Africa, you'll find that the Africans will give us a harder time than even the white people, you know. Now, the last question I want to ask is what's the Pan-Africans doing with, in terms of talking to the different governments in Africa to invite us back home? Because not one of them to date, you know, apart from Selassie Ule Shashamani, none of them have come out openly and said, look, all of you black people, we know you're Africans, like what you said, come back home, we need you. How comes it's not being done? Or what are you all doing to help in that?
Okay, yeah, you asked, there's 3 points you raised, yeah?
Yeah.
The first point was about the Asian, yeah? If you remember what we said that, didn't say that we were like the Asian, and what I said is that their history is different from ours, yeah? But what I did say is that we should use that, yes, to have an analogy and understand how they are operating. Not to say that we can operate in exactly the same way, but to understand how they are operating. Yes, as a reference point. Because we also have to understand how other peoples operate for us to move forward. Yes, so that's
Do you know that the Asians use a lot of occultism in their business? Do you know that, Bridget?
I would say that most peoples... Yes?
No. I'm asking you a question. Do you know, right, that the majority of Asians, Hindus, them people there, they use occultism. They use all kind of magic for their business to thrive and to prosper. And they worship all but different gods. Do you know that?
When you use terms like magic and occult, yeah, those are terms that confuse people. Yeah.
No, well, they're the terms that most people understand.
No,
So
they're
terms
that are often misused.
Sorry?
They're terms that are often misused.
Yeah, but not in
magic
this case,
sometimes,
it's not
you see,
misused.
it is misused. Let me explain what I'm saying to you. You see,
Well,
the white.
do you understand what I mean when I say a code?
No, well, let me explain what I'm saying to you. Yeah. You see, the white man.
Do you understand what I mean before you explain to me?
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Yes. That's why, if you allow me just to continue. Yeah. You allow me to continue.
Carry on, man. But as I said, I'll just ask you. Before you explain to me what you mean. You said some people use that in the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm just
Do you understand what I mean when I say that they use occultism and magic?
Right. That's what I'm saying. The term magic is a term that's often misused. You see, the white man will say something is magic because he doesn't understand it.
Yeah, but I'm not a white man.
Yeah, so therefore we shouldn't use the term when we're applying it to certain practices that we may not yet understand. You understand?
I hear you.
So there's certain practices, for example, in Hinduism or Islam or other religions, that are African practices. Yes, and there's nothing spooky or mystical about them. They're just practical, common sense things. But they don't agree with Western science, so he calls them magic. We also get into the philosophy and call that magic when it's not. It's just practical, common sense things. Reflexology.
I hear that, you know.
Yeah.
I hear that, all right? But you're talking about a white man. Now, I'm telling you, I know what these things are because I've researched and I've gone into it and I've experienced it, see?
Okay.
So if I say to you that they're using occult and magic, don't use it. Don't think, you know, that I don't understand what I'm saying, or I wouldn't say it.
So when you say magic, what do you mean?
I mean, they use all kind of sacrifice. They use blood sacrifice. They read out of ancient books that tells you how to take the souls out of people, how to make people come back into your shop. They put oils and different kind of oils on their money so that when they give you the money in your hand, it makes you have to come back. They put certain dust on the floor that when you come in there for a loaf of bread, you end up going out with a trolley of food. That's what I'm talking about.
So you think that's the issue why they're able to build up their economic base because they...
No, I'm not telling you. That's not what I think, Bridget. That's what I know.
So
as I said,
you know that, yes? You know that. That's the reason why they're able to build up their economics.
That's one of the reasons why their economic system has grown so fast. That's the same reason you think the white man is just a smart man. He's using other sources. See, the same way you're talking about Africa's got their thing as well. These people have their thing as well, but they are using it on us. You understand me?
Yeah,
So now, this is why in the beginning I asked you, what do you mean when you're talking about the spiritual tip all the time? Because there is an element of warfare going on against us right now.
That's right.
See?
That's right.
Which is invisible.
But you see,
and I haven't heard you mention that yet.
Yeah, but you see, the way that we destroy their power, spiritual power over us, is for us to be in harmony with us. When we are in harmony with... I'm trying to explain to you. When we are in harmony with us...
The Asians are not in harmony with each other, you know.
No, I'm not talking about the Asians. You're not talking about the Asians. I'm talking about us. No. We are different from them, right? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Yeah? When we are in harmony with us, yes, then
what do you mean when you say when we are in harmony with us?
When we as African people, as black people... When we as African people, as black people, are in harmony with ourselves, then their so-called spiritual power has no power over us.
Yeah, but the African nations are not extending a hand out
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. I said
so when you're talking about harmony amongst us, us here, right, that's in Europe, all right?
Us, throughout the world.
Us will be classed as West Indians and all over the rest of outside of Africa. We've got a harmony because we've all, you know, we've got the same music, the same food, the same vibes, the same everything. But Africa is not extending a hand to us and welcoming us in. If you go to Africa now as a West Indian, the hardest thing to do is to get stay. So when you're talking about that us, brethren, what you know, where are you coming from? Because it's a Pan-African movement that you're promoting.
That's what I just said to you, brother. I said that when we are in harmony with ourselves, then we will be powerful. Yes? I didn't say that we are in harmony. If we were in harmony, we wouldn't even be able to have, we shouldn't even have to have this conversation. So obviously we're not there yet, are we? Yes, but I said when we are in harmony with ourselves, then we will be powerful.
Who's the ourselves? The black people?
With black people all over the world, African people.
Okay.
I'm talking about all black people.
Okay, so then what is the Pan-African movement doing with the African governments to invite